got to check to get through that. That's why we work so much, missing family time and, you know, all this overtime is necessary for most families. It's necessary. And this 3% is pretty much a slap in the face and a kick in the butt.
Thank you for your comments. Question?
How you doing? Like her, I've been here 3.5 years, 3 years. I'm looking at this wage increase for a new hire, and it's not just a slap in the face. You say you get rid of the tier 2 and tier 1, you create a new tier 2. Now it takes us 8 years to get where we want to get. And you was giving us 4 years. And you're saying 80-20. You destroyed your 80-20 and came with something worse. And then you want to still work these long hours. You still live in the nice areas. We work every other area. When you're at home with your family, we here with our real family.
So my question is, when we never got any raises for 10 years, how much did international get? How much percentage of raises did you all receive as international employees not touching any years?
The answer to that is zero.
You guys never got any raises?
Our wages are articulated in the UAW Constitution. There's a big myth around that. There's a big misnomer about that. The convention, the Constitutional Convention delegates set the wages of the International Union.
I understand that.
And it's in the Constitution. So the workers of the International Union, they have a union that represents them. It's actually called the Staff Council. And they bargained with President Dennis Williams, and back then it was Bob King, and prior to that it was Geltner. And their wages were frozen. These guys will tell you, you get a raise.
Did you get cost of living?
No.
Did you get bonuses?
No.
Did you get profit share?
No.
So you guys not had any raises?
We have a salary that's articulated in the Constitution. We do not share any of the benefits that the hourly employees get.
Is your salary comparable to ours?
Depends who you are. I have friends that make more than me.
I'm a skilled trade, so I make $32 an hour.
Depending on your overtime, you
No,
could.
no.
I don't know how much you
Your base
make.
salary, I said $32 an hour. Base salary. What is yours comparable to
I
mine?
have to pull out a Constitution and read it to you.
I'm sure you guys know your base salaries in comparison to mine.
We don't get paid hours. That's probably why we can't answer that question. But here's the issue. I just want to say this. Ultimately, the international UAW is paid a lot lower than most international unions. So there's arguments go round and around over what's right. There's many skilled trade people making $200,000 plus a year. There ain't nobody in the international making $200,000 plus. But I'm just saying that's a defeating argument if you get into say this, that, and
what about
you want to get the best pay raise that you can and guarantee that's what we work to do. We don't go in saying let's give our members less. We went in trying to get you the best.
Oh, they do
to
like
each and every person.
kind of
We went in to get the best.
do they give Scott Huddleston a hug?
Sir, Mike.
Thank you. I was told, I wasn't here for the last contract, but I was told in the last contract that you all negotiated $6,000 for a signing bonus, and you all gave you all put $4,000 from the profit sharing in there to make it $10,000. Now I wasn't here, so I was told that. Now this time you all negotiated $8,500. I was told, and $1,500 is coming from our profit sharing to make that $10,000. Am I correct? All right.
That's correct.
All right. I just think $8,500 by itself would have been fine for me, but $1,500 of my own money to make $10,000 don't add up right to me. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny at all. This is serious business. And I got a lot of constituents that I talk to every day, and they don't seem to be happy with this themselves. So, I don't know what my other colleagues gonna do, but I think we gonna have to send y'all back to the table. Y'all doing a great job, but I think y'all can do better.
Yeah.
As to why it was done, the question we expected has been asked a lot. A lot of people have asked why did that happen. In 2011, you're correct, $10,000 was the signing bonus. The $1,500 pull ahead for a lot of people, that helps them if they paid off FICA. It was done for a tax consideration. Also, our vice president said if we hadn't done the $10,000 like we did in 2011, you have a lot of people going, well, in 2011 it was 10. Now they shortened us, but they're not giving us 10, even though the signing bonus is much larger. So there are conspiracies on each side of it. Lastly, let me just say to you, it is definitely the right of membership to vote how we feel. We think this is a damn good agreement. It's a lot of money in it. But this is not as simple as send people back to the table and they can just come out and add 2 more thousand or 3 more thousand or another percent. There are consequences when you go back to that table. So you have to be careful of that. This is not that simple. Otherwise, people just vote down every agreement from here on out. We never come away from the table. We sit there a whole year long trying to get better and better and better. It doesn't work that way. It's not as easy just to send us back and we're going to add more money to the body.
We're worth more than GM.
I'd like to say something. It's
Not 500 more.
To sit in that chair and point fingers at us, but I'd like for you to know that when we went to the bargaining table, the first thing the company said was the GM contract is too rich. They didn't want to give you what GM had. They wanted to do what Chrysler had. So it's very easy to say you can go back to the table and get more. You know, the company are the people that hold the purse strings, and we're fighting to loosen up the purse. So for me, I give up my life for this job. I would absolutely give up my life for this job. If it was up to the company, they want you to work as much overtime without any parameter. So I find what you're saying, I think it's very offensive, because I know when everybody else, we're just talking. We're fighting. We are fighting just as hard. Okay. Absolutely. I appreciate what you guys are saying, and the feedback is great, but I just like for you to know that we are fighting a hard fight for you. So we think that this is a good contract. We understand that you have a lot of concerns and a lot of issues, and we fought to address those. And like I said before, you guys you didn't know what the company was saying. They wanted to pattern after what Chrysler was doing. That's absolutely what they wanted to do.
This is patterned after Chrysler.
Okay, listen, we're here to answer your questions, but what I would like to do is go page by page, so we don't have to loop back around. So right now, we're on page 2, we're talking about traditional employees' wages. We have a couple of comments and questions, then we'll move through this at your pleasure. Okay, brother to Mike. Hold on.
Okay. So, real quickly, just kind of speak first. I'm four months off of this cut-off mission where they're going to get very legacy day. I know that we're only small chunks of, we're a chunk of the total population of the local group. I know you guys.
How'd you get in here?
To help everyone, but with the 80-20 and now this, and in fact, I'm right there, and I know that not everyone's in the same position as me, but I'm looking on this page 7, you guys are saying a result in at least 8,500 new jobs and secure jobs. So I know that there's a chunk of us that are going to give me this month, why not at least try to have 80-20 or the 8-year plan, like whichever one was come first.
We actually try to have both. But we can't, don't
I
think
know
so.
you're not going to work because what's going to change.
And that's why they push back. Right. So they push back, no doubt, and it's unfortunate. There's folks that are gonna make the cut, they're gonna be happy. You're absolutely right, but here's the problem with the concept. It's a collective agreement. They have a different pay system, but they also have a boatload of things that's worse. So I knew that was going to come up, so let's be honest about this. So GM pulled ahead one of their steps to next April. So they get a raise upon ratification, which by the way, they're not ratified yet. They have a production ratification, but they have to go back and figure out why the trades voted it down. So because of that, constitutionally, they don't have an agreement. But let's just talk about that for 1 second and then we'll take more questions. Yes, they do have a second increase in April. But what they don't have is they have no family days, they have no uncapped profit sharing, they have no protections on temporary employees, they have no scholarship or other EPP money, they have no see-through premium, they had nobody transition to the top, where we've had about 1,100, 1,200. Their team leaders get $1, ours get $1.50. Their retirees got 500, ours are getting 1,000. And by the way, because of we call it the Kobe ladder, our entry levels are allowed to bid on jobs in progression, theirs aren't. And they don't have any opportunity to make money by being on teams. So we can pick and choose, and I hear you, brother. We can pick and choose a certain part out of the Chrysler agreement, a certain part out of any agreement, and benchmark it. But at the end of the day, it's one big collective agreement, and I absolutely get where you're coming from.
It's just this argument that most people I know got 4, 5, maybe even 6 years they made that tradition. I'm gonna have to wait everyone in the future, all the new workers from here on out. I mean, so what, 4 years now?
It'd take me 9.
8-year plan?
Totally.
Well, you know, that question, well, it's far cry from minimum wage. That's we'll take the next question, but that's why at the beginning we said there's wage increases, there's profit sharing, and then there's lump sums. Go ahead, brother.
Legacy employees and entry level employees. I am a new legacy employee. Am I counted as legacy or am I just?
You transitioned to new traditional.
You're tier 2.
You get the same new traditional wage increases that everybody above that's got more seniority.
Legacy employees obviously in with legacy.
Correct. No problem. Thank you. Scott?
Can I say one thing? On the issue level, I don't know what the gentleman is, but we've got over 15,000 entry level people. We've only had about 800 flip over to the higher wage.
Right.
Now, this chart here, and I'm the chairman of the Cut Truck Plan, when I left there, all my entry level people were telling me they wanted a pathway to get to legacy pay. And that's what we get. Every entry level person or in progression person now you're guaranteed in 8 years, you're going to be making full pay. Now the 80-20.
No, I'm not. It's going to take me 9 years.
We've got over 15,000.
4 months to 4 years.
People have converted over. This way, this guarantees that 15,000, all the new people are going to get there.
Why couldn't you honor the 80-20 before we did this?
We're at 27, 28%. Honor the 20% cap.
What's 15,000 or 52? That's 30%.
like the other guy, I'm just short of 4 years right now. Now, this contract is gonna last 4 years, so we're more about 8 years. Meanwhile, we're putting another contract, so let's say that we're gonna get that.
You know, that question came up, we've been in a couple other places, and it's a great question. And it deserves a fair and honest answer. So, here's how I answer. As my young adult son uses the terminology back in the day. So back in the day, somebody came up with a concept, and somebody bargained it, and somebody was a recipient of it. And it took 10 3-year contracts, but never went away. And that concept was called 30 and out retirement. So yeah, your wage progression starts in this contract, carries over into the next one, maybe the next one. Who knows? It's the same way we negotiate vacation. You come in, you get X amount of days paid, and it says when you get 10 years, you get more. When you get 15 years, you get more. It's the same concept. It carries through into the next agreement. Now, to your point, if I had a crystal ball and I could predict the future, hey, I'd be in a different line of work. The projections, the economists, the somebodies predict a pretty good next 3 years without a doubt we'll be rocking. 4th year should be good, but it's not going to be as good as these last 2 years. So the other experts say that there's a recession in the United States every 7 years. Well, the last one we had, we've seen what happened. We've seen what happened to the automobile industry. So I don't know. If we take 2009 and we look at what our traditional workers gave back to help make this corporation survive, and we add 7 or 8 years, it's taken us right to the end of this agreement where the predictors or the trends could be there's another recession. So it goes to your point. You just don't know. But nobody wants to negotiate to go back. We want to continue that into the next agreement and either get rid of it then or negotiate it into the next agreement. If somebody starts out new and somebody retires, and that's the process. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you for coming out here at this early hour of the morning, and thank all our members for coming out here at this early hour of the morning. The 3% wage increases are definitely a problem. If there were 3% in each year of the contract, that would be a lot better. A performance bonus comes nowhere near the impact of the wage increase. Wage increase stays on your paycheck for the rest of your career. A performance bonus is one and done. You get it, you spend it, it's gone. A wage increase stays with you from year to year, it's cumulative. Without COLA, the 2-3% wage increases don't even add up to what we've given up in 2006 and 2009. 2006 we gave up a 3% wage increase to help save Ford Motor Company. In 2009 we gave up COLA that was 99 cents an hour to help save Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company has been on a roll for 6 years. 6 years Ford has been making money hand over fist. When is it our turn? And let's just say this is our best opportunity to get the best for this membership. But unfortunately, at the bargaining convention, I saw that handwriting on the wall. COLA was not included in our bargaining resolution that you guys came up with. Neither was annual improvement back. That told me that our wages were going to stay once again. On top of that, we've created tiers upon tiers. The problem with the tiered wage system is that while create lower wage increases to allow our brothers and sisters with lower seniority to try and catch up. We can, that suppresses all of our wages. And now we've created another set of tiers for people hired after this contract. Why can't they begin at least the same wage progression as the people that are in this contract? Why do we have to create another tier?
Stop there. Where do you see a different wage
That's
progression?
why I'm stopping at $28 an hour.
No, that's not correct. If you look at the table on page 5, that's just the 7th year stop. You go to year 8 and you hit traditional wage, and then there's a caveat, it's clear as a bell to me. Upon reaching traditional wage, in progression members will continue their wage progression in accordance with the traditional wage chart on page 2. I don't know where you're coming from, bro. By the way, I do agree with some of your comments, but I want to point out that in 1999, when you make reference to that agreement, we had 18 assembly plants. We had 116, 130,000 workers. We were pushing 30,000 this time 4 years ago. We were in bad shape. These corporations do what they do. You're right. They're making money, but they're also reinvesting it. And with reinvestment comes jobs. With these 8,500 new people getting hired, that's 8,500 people underneath of somebody in seniority that's going to get laid off before we do. I get it, but I don't get where you're coming from that they stop at 28.
That's right there on page 5.
You talking the bottom chart? That's only 7 years, bro. Look at the top chart.
Why does it say 8 years? Why does it put 8 years in?
It is look at the chart right above you, bro. So you're just saying after 96 months, there should be a box that says traditional? It's in the agreement. That's what it is.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And correct on that. But back to your point of the 1999 when we had 130,000 numbers, that's the reason that Ford was losing money, because they had too much capacity for the market share that they had. They're the ones that lost the market share. We didn't lose their market share.
They're the ones that close these factories, not us. We have more to lose than they do. You're absolutely right. That's why we want to protect these jobs, protect these paint plants from being closed, protect this stuff from being sourced out, and continue to go in a trajectory that goes forward rather than for those of us who are around and remember those dark days. They were horrible.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Scott. Thanks. Great, thanks.